Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something that honestly sounds like pure sci-fi, but it's actually happening at the cutting edge of biology. Just imagine the core machinery of life, enzymes. They might be using quantum mechanics. Seriously, quantum tunneling. Not just theory, but actually observed in living things. It's pretty mind-bending stuff.
It really is. Definitely a revolutionary idea. For so long, we've looked at biology through, a classical lens, right? Thinking of molecules like tiny billiard balls bouncing around. But these sources you shared, they show direct evidence. Biology is actually using quantum effects for super efficient processes. And it's not just some weird little detail. It really forces us to rethink life's chemistry. And maybe more importantly, how we could work with it.
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's unpack this. What is quantum tunneling inside a cell, and why call it a computational speedup? What's that about? Plus, what could this mean for, say, new drugs or industrial processes? Get ready, because this is where it gets really interesting. Okay, so let's really dig into this quantum tunneling in biology idea, because for most of us, quantum mechanics is way out there, right? Subatomic particles, maybe quantum computers. It doesn't feel like something happening inside us. But the source material is pretty clear. This isn't just guesswork anymore.
No, not at all. And what's really fascinating is we're way past just theory now. The sources specifically mention femtosecond-scale observation of quantum tunneling in enzymatic catalysis. That's not just jargon. It means scientists have seen it directly.
Yes.
In biological systems, they've watched particles like protons and electrons literally tunnel through energy barriers they shouldn't classically be able to cross, using these incredibly advanced techniques like super high-speed cameras for molecules.
Femtosecond-scale, that's a quadrillionth of a second. It's hard to even wrap your head around that kind of speed.
It is.
But it shows how fast and precise these quantum events are. And the key thing, sources say, is this tunneling gives non-trivial computational speedups by bypassing classical energy barriers. That analogy of tunneling through the hill instead of driving over it makes sense. But are there limits? Does this happen in every enzyme reaction? Or just certain ones? And how much faster are we talking? Is it a tiny bit faster or a lot?
That's a great question. It's nuanced. It's not every single reaction, no. But it's crucial for many key ones, especially things involving proton or electron transfer, which are fundamental for metabolism, DNA repair, lots of core processes.
Yeah.
See, for years, scientists saw enzymes working way faster than classical physics predicted, suspiciously fast. This quantum tunneling, it's kind of the missing piece. It explains how biology pulls off this efficiency, and the speedup isn't small. It can be orders of magnitude faster. It makes reactions possible at body temperature that would otherwise be incredibly slow.
Wow. So it's not just a shortcut. It's often the necessary shortcut for life to work efficiently. That's why it's a computational speedup. The molecular problem solving happens way quicker than it should.
Exactly.
It almost feels like biology's been hiding this quantum trick up its sleeve all along, doesn't it?
It really does. It's quite humbling, actually. Nature's operating on principles we're only just starting to grasp. It's like we thought we understood the engineering, and now we realize nature's been using quantum tech the whole time, bypassing those energy barriers. It changes everything. Enzymes aren't just matchmakers lowering energy classically. They're actively orchestrating quantum events, leveraging quantum mechanics to accelerate things dramatically, which explains some of that almost miraculous efficiency we see.
That is. Yeah, that's profound. Direct proof life uses quantum mechanics. It's a fundamental shift. And the sources hint this isn't just academic. There are big commercial possibilities here.
Oh, absolutely. Not just academic. This really raises the question, if nature's been doing this for billions of years, what can we learn? The big implication, like you said, is a new paradigm for rational drug design and industrial catalysis. Think about drug design. For decades, we focused on what they call classical binding sites. Basically, designing a molecule shaped perfectly to fit into a protein's pocket, like a key in a lock, to turn it on or off.
Right, focusing on the physical fit, the chemistry of that interaction.
Exactly. But now, the sources suggest we can go beyond that. We can think about designing molecules that modulate quantum tunneling probabilities. That's a completely different approach. Instead of just blocking the door, maybe we design a molecule that subtly changes the energy landscape nearby, making it harder or easier for that proton or electron to tunnel through the wall. So imagine a disease caused by an enzyme working too fast via tunneling. A drug could maybe create a tiny field or just get in the way enough to raise the quantum barrier, slowing it down to the classical slower path. Or, conversely, If an enzyme is too slow for a good reason, maybe we design something to help stabilize a state that makes tunneling more likely.
That's a whole new level of control.
It is, from brute force blocking to fine-tuning quantum probabilities.
Mind-blowing. Influencing the chance of something phasing through a barrier. And does this apply outside of medicine too, like industrial catalysis? That sounds very different.
The principle translates surprisingly well. In industry, you often want to speed reactions up, right? Make them super efficient, use less energy. Currently, that often means high heat, high pressure, lots of energy input. But if we can design industrial catalysts that modulate quantum tunneling, we could create hyper-efficient catalysts. Think chemical processes that run way faster, need much less energy, maybe even work at room temperature, less waste, lower cost. Imagine making plastics or fuels or even cleaning up pollution with catalysts that use quantum tunneling instead of just brute force heat. The potential impact is huge across so many industries.
So it's not just better drugs. It could fundamentally change manufacturing, energy, maybe even environmental tech. And the sources actually put a potential market value on this. That always gets attention.
They do. They project a potential $50 B+ market by 2035 for these quantum biotherapeutics and catalysts, which is a massive number, especially considering how new the direct observation of this stuff is. It signals that this isn't seen as some fringe science. It's viewed as a major growth area.
50 billion plus by 2035? That's really ambitious, but wow, exciting. Especially coming so soon after the basic science confirmation, it suggests there's a plan, a roadmap to get there.
There seems to be, yes, a pretty specific one, actually. 2 main phases outlined. First, within the next, say, 1 to 3 years, the goal is developing simulation platforms for modeling these quantum biological effects, which makes sense. You need the tools first. Sophisticated computer models to really understand and predict how tunneling works in specific systems and how molecules might affect it. Without good simulations, you're kind of flying blind trying to design things.
Okay, so step 1 is building the advanced software needed to actually model these quantum interactions. Makes total sense. And once those tools are ready, what's next?
Then the prediction is seeing the first quantum-inspired drug candidates entering preclinical trials within 7 years, which, is incredibly fast. Going from fundamental discovery to potential drugs and testing that quickly, it really shows the perceived potential here. And maybe it reflects that computational speed-up idea even in the discovery process itself, using quantum insights to accelerate development.
That is a fast track. And for people wanting to get involved, innovators or founders, the sources seem to offer some direct advice too, like a key founder move.
They do, very directly. The advice is build the proprietary simulation software for modeling these quantum biological effects. Focus on creating those foundational tools. Because translating this complex quantum stuff into predictive models is the hard part. The accuracy and speed of those simulations will basically set the stage for everything else. If you're building a drug platform on this, your models have to be spot on to find molecules that actually work by modulating tunneling. So the people who nail this simulation part first, they essentially own the operating system for quantum biology R&D. Everyone else will need it.
Owning the operating system or the language of the field. That's powerful. So for investors looking at this emerging space, what does that mean? Are they looking for those simulation builders or further down the line?
The advice for investors follows logically. Fund the interdisciplinary teams, quantum physics plus biology, that can build these platforms and achieve preclinical validation. It highlights that you need a special mix of skills. It's not just biology, not just physics, it's quantum biology. You need teams where quantum physicists who get the math and the weirdness of quantum mechanics can actually talk to biologists who understand the messy reality of proteins and cells. That kind of deep integration is rare. And that leads straight to the idea of the competitive moat.
Right, the sustainable advantage. What is the real moat here then? Is it just the software IP?
According to the sources, no. The primary moat isn't just the IP. It's the unique talent stack required to build it. So it's less about just patenting software, which can sometimes be worked around, and more about having the incredibly rare people, the minds that truly bridge quantum physics and complex biology, people who can build, refine, and actually use these tools effectively. That combined expertise is just very hard to find and replicate. That's the real barrier to entry. The human capital.
So the advantage comes from bringing together these deep, almost opposite kinds of scientific expertise.
Exactly.
That's a fascinating point. It's about fostering that unique collaborative environment where breakthroughs can happen.
Precisely. Where physicists and biologists aren't just in the same building, but genuinely co-creating, speaking the same combined language. That's where the magic will happen.
Wow, what a journey we've taken just now. Thinking that life itself, down at its core, is using quantum tunneling. It's astounding going from just theory to seeing it happen on these ultra-fast timescales, proving enzymes tunnel through barriers for these computational speedups.
It's truly fascinating, and it completely reframes how we think about biological efficiency, doesn't it? It stops being just about classical lock and key stuff and becomes about managing quantum probabilities, which naturally leads you to ask, okay, if nature figured this out over billions of years, imagine what we could do if we really learned to design molecules that deliberately harness these same effects. It feels like moving beyond just mimicking nature to actually engineering with its deepest, most fundamental rules.
Absolutely. And the sources give us that clear, though ambitious, path. Simulations in 1 to 3 years, preclinical drugs within 7, aiming for that $50 billion plus market by 2035. It just fires up the imagination. If enzymes do this, what other quantum secrets might biology be hiding? What other amazing speed-ups or tricks are happening that we just haven't seen yet? It really feels like we're right on the edge of a whole new chapter in understanding life.